Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Daily Devotions with Pastor Chris. Good to see you on this Saturday morning. Nice to see you guys already jumping on. I know that I said I was going to take a break today, but I was in the office and I was studying, and I was like, you know what? It wouldn't hurt anything to jump on and just say hello and do a quick devotion and maybe bless your heart this morning. We are 200 and this is episode 270 of Daily Devotions with PC. It's good to see you guys. What's up, Brian Owens? What's up, Nancy Desjardins, Timothy Jones, Deb Click, Julie Chandler? God bless you guys. Good to see you, each one. Dawn D, Gene Hickman, Jessica Ragazine, Betty Diaz, Nancy Desjardins. I know. Are the questions about me jumping on? I see question marks this morning. That's because I know that I said I wasn't going to be on today, but I was just I just can't sleep. So I get up in the morning and I start studying and I pray and I seek the Lord, and then sometimes things bless me and I'm just like, well, maybe we won't talk about Revelation, but I'll share something that I thought was cool. So maybe it'll bless your heart today too. Tom thinks I'm funny. Oh, you know what? I'm going to switch out of my Instagram. I'm in the wrong Instagram here, so let me just end that really quick and get back onto the Cornerstone Instagram. I apologize for this little pause for this moment. Okay, let's go and live. Okay. So, but yeah, so good to see you, Don D. God bless you. Good to see you guys this morning. I just figured I did sleep a little bit. I mean, I got 30 more minutes, so that's good. And so we'll take it. We'll take it. So, but I just wanted to share something with you, a devotional that, hey, good morning, Dad. Good to see you on. Just a quick devotional, and I'm not. This is not original with me. This is something that I read on crosswalk.com, and it was a blessing to me, and so I pray that it's a blessing to you. Let me see here really quick if I can. Let's see. Well, I can't exactly cite the author here because I didn't put his name in here. He's a pastor, Steve something. But anyway, it's on crosswalk.com if you wanted to read. But I was just reading a little bit about Christmas and hope, and I got this. I read across this when I was doing my study on the sermon that I preached last Sunday. And so anyway, this pastor wrote this devotion, and he asked this question. He says, "Did you ever hear people say, 'I don't want to get my hopes up,' because they're afraid of being disappointed?" But that's in direct contradiction to what the Apostle Paul said when he said that hope does not disappoint. So you can't get your hopes disappointed if hope doesn't disappoint. So I wonder where the disconnect is. And the disconnect may have something to do in what we're hoping for or what we're expecting. A great author by the name of Max Lucado, he said this about hope. He said, "Hope is not what you would expect. It is what you would never dream. It is a wild, improbable tale with a pinch me, I'm dreaming ending. Hope is not a granted wish or a favor performed, nor is it but it is far greater than that. It's a zany, unpredictable dependence on a God who loves to surprise us out of our socks and be there in the flesh to see our reaction." And that is truly what hope is. And I think that we need. I'm sorry, just reading some of you guys. I feel the need for speed. Thank you for that Top Gun reference there, Dad. Oh, thanks, Goose. Appreciate it. Anyway, so 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 7 says, "Love hopes all things, but now these three things abide: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love." And have you ever wondered why faith and hope and love are the greatest virtues? And apparently they are in that order. Well, maybe hope isn't actually something we do. Have you ever, just think about this for a minute. Maybe hope is not something that we do, but it's something that we receive, like grace. Grace is not something that we do. Grace is something that we receive. And if that's true, without faith, it's impossible for us to please him, it says in 11 verse 6 of Hebrews. So perhaps conversely, it's conversely true that if faith is impossible for us to, it's impossible for us to please God without faith. Perhaps it's true that without hope, it's impossible for God to please us. So if faith is necessary for us to please God, perhaps hope is necessary for God to please us. Because hope is not something we do, hope is something we receive. The same verse says that God is a rewarder of those who seek him. So the question then is hope a reward? God is a rewarder of those who seek him. Is hope one of those rewards? I mean, if faith is what we give to God, and if hope is what God gives to us, then we have a dynamic relationship. Remember I said it's your hope that fuels your faith. I preached that in Sunday's sermon. Well, with that in place, if we are receiving hope and we are giving faith, then we can have love. If faith, hope, and love are in that order, we have faith in God. God bestows upon us hope, and because of that, we can love, because there's an amicable relationship between us and the Father. So love is built on hope, which is built on faith. You see how that works? I thought that was a fascinating idea or fascinating thought on hope, because I think we really misconstrue what hope really is. So for hope to exist, unfortunately, it looks like that there has to be hopelessness first. In a perfect world, there would be no need for hope. And I talked about that on Sunday as well, that hope actually lives in uncertainty. Hope is birthed out of disappointment. Deliverance arrives undeservedly and perhaps unexpectedly, just as in the unlikely way God came to the earth to provide a once and for all substitute for the sins of all men on the first Christmas. That's why things can look bleak, but hope lives on. That's why, by now I have several pastor friends who have contracted COVID virus, and they've been quarantined, and some of them have gotten quite sick, and some of them have been asymptomatic. But the point is that in the midst of all of their seclusion and isolation and quarantine, which, by the way, sounds glamorous, just to be by yourself and just to chill and relax just for a couple weeks. That sounds glamorous, but man, we are creatures that are created for fellowship. And this is why church is hard today, because we're such a tactile people. And so to have that natural barrier of being unable to hug and embrace and hold each other's hands and to get that warm kiss on the cheek, from the elderly women in the church, and those kinds of nuances that come from just being human, it causes all kinds of psychosomatic issues in our life, and I'm learning that many people get into these isolation and they begin to feel hopeless, and it's because they feel alone. But I've also heard of others who have found real hope, that their hope has not died, that everything around them looks bleak, everything around them looks bad. They are sick, they are isolated, they are alone, they are struggling, and they feel miserable, but they haven't lost hope. And that's because hope isn't something that you give, hope is something that you get. And see, hope lives on in the midst of the turmoil. So the good news is that you simply can't hope big enough, which goes back to the idea of our mind and our senses being inadequate to judge God's design and God's methods, and hope being more of a function of God's involvement in our lives and in our desires. I readily acknowledge that I could not have conceived the plan of salvation of a virgin birth. I mean, who would come up with that plan? Only God could have done that. I would never have thought of it that way. I could never have thought of marching around a city of Jericho and expecting those walls to fall down, or for a hungry den of lions, for a hungry den of lions to become purring kittens to Daniel, or for a Red Sea to part and to offer up dry land for safe passage. So because I can't conceive that, because I can't imagine that kind of solution, neither do I know how my problems are going to be solved or what miracles I'll be blessed with to see this Christmas. If you look at Israel and you look at their captivity and you think, man, here are people that were slaves, they were abused, they were beaten, they were mistreated, everything was wrong, everything was bad, they were displaced, they were away from their home, they had a promise of God, but they had not seen it fulfilled. They had all of this going on, and then all of a sudden they get these blessings. They get these miraculous plagues, and the death angel, and the release, and the parting of the Red Sea, and the cloud by day and the fire by night, and the water from the rock, and all of the things that God, sandals that never wore out, manna from heaven. I mean, all these miracles, these provisions of God that just kept them going. And may I suggest to you today that hope is the same. Hope is that miracle from God that just keeps us going. It keeps us going through the middle of the desert, through the thick of the trial, through the absence of what we perceive as stability or safety or security. God is still with us. He's still Emmanuel, and our hope is found in that. Isaiah said in Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6, it says, concerns the hope, and the Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6 concerns the hope of the prophecy being fulfilled that brought us a wonderful counselor, a mighty God, an everlasting Father, and the Prince of Peace. The last sentence of verse 7 says, "The zeal of the Lord that will accomplish this." God, in other words, God is excited. God is giddy. He's zealous, enthusiastic, passionate. He's obsessive even to bring us hope, to bring you hope. Last year, we've done these three virtues for our Christmas ornaments, and last year's was hope. This year is love, but in the first year was joy. Romans chapter 15, verse 13 says this. It says, "May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, that you may abound in hope by the power of the Holy Spirit." Let that be a Christmas prayer for you today. Man, pray that every day. God, let hope fill me with joy and peace as I believe in you, and may I abound in that hope by the power of your Holy Spirit. The reason that you and I can have hope, the reason why hope exists, is because Jesus was born. Jesus was born on that holy night. What an absolute thrill that God is at work, and he came near to us. So I was blessed when I read that devotion, and I pray that blesses you as well, and that you today, that no matter what life throws at you, what difficulties, what disappointments, just know this, that you still have hope in Jesus Christ, and that as you receive that hope, that it continues to build your faith, and you reciprocate your faith. You continue to please God by faith. It continues to fill you with hope, and it's that love, give, take relationship between faith and hope that produces love. And so I pray that that's a blessing to you. I pray that gives you a little fuel for your weekend. And and I pray that I don't know that well, I thank you. I thank you for giving me some of your morning today, especially not knowing that I was going to come on. So I pray that's a blessing to you. Say a little prayer for me today as I continue to pray and prepare for tomorrow's services. Looking forward to bringing you the word. I pray that you'll join us at service tomorrow. Join us live in person. If you haven't already signed up, get reserved seats. If you can't figure it out, just come to first or third. I don't know if first is full yet, but third is typically there's some room. So come and see us and be a part of those services. We're social distancing. We've got the chairs spread out. We wear the masks. We spray the thing down every between every service. Wipe everything down. People are being very cognizant about their distance, and so if you have those kinds of fears, fear not. Just come and enjoy being in the presence of God with your brothers and sisters. It's just different. It's just different. So if you can do that, if you can't, then join us online. But we're looking forward to seeing you at church tomorrow. So listen, God bless you. Have an amazing, amazing day in Jesus Christ. And I will see you tomorrow. God bless.